What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D. My voice has been a little hoarse, and it's still somewhat a little hoarse, but I'm getting over it. But I want to show you a little bit more what I was talking about. I only showed a little of the last one about, then show you a little bit more of the ancient gardens, a better picture. All right, so I'm gonna turn to page 56 of this book. Now here's an artist's rendition, a reconstruction of El Tajif. All right, see it. Look at the little garden. Here, the garden that was inside. Now this is a rendition of it. All right. Miniature gardens around there. It's a reconstruction of it right here. Here's the actual how it looks today. See how it's been buried in the forest because it hasn't been kept up. This is the reconstruction of it. All right. And here is what it looks like actually today. You can probably tell where it's at today unless you have like a helicopter, you flying over it, and you're able to see different structures that are buried under like a forest now. They had great monuments over here, great gardens, everything. All right. This is out in Mesoamerica too. I'll show you this image here. It looks like a little band over his head right here. This warrior's head. And a little feather. All right, but I also want to show you though. I mentioned about the ball courts. All right. And this is the ball courts near the palace of Lamichi. One of the ball courts. I think I showed this last time, but I'm going to show another image of it near Lamichi. And I told you what Lamichi is, man, before. But here, look at this. Here's one of the ball courts. All right. I'm going to go further because I want to just show you. Here is another image of the ball court. From an aerial, different angle. This so-called ball court when it was actually a big-ass field, man. All right. I'm going to go what I really want to show. It's in my throat. It's still a little hoarse, man, because I want to talk about some other stuff, but I want to also show you this so you can pick up stuff on your own and do your own research. Like I said, I'm going to continue to give out my sources. But here, look at this. Remember I mentioned how the long causeways and the walkways? See the long walkway here? Any manual instructors? There you have Teotihuacan, Pyramid of the Moon. Oh, let me get a better image. You see that long, like, walkway? Miniature roadway to get to every different structure. We had that here in the Americas. All right, we had different monuments here in America. And I want you to also notice, if I can get a better image, make sure you another one. Image of, oh, I get it closer. Look how the pyramid is built now. All right, base-wise, width-wise, is much larger than the ones over in Egypt. But you look at a lot of the ones here in America, they were built over like in little blocks and stacks, compared to the ones over in Africa, where they're just more smooth surface. The oldest one over in Egypt is what you call the step pyramids, which is sort of built like blocks, what you see here in Americas. I mentioned this over and over again. The ones in Americas are older than the ones in Africa. They didn't take the technology from Africa and bring it here. They took the technology from here and went to Africa. Now, it's hard for many Pan-Africans to understand that, because in their mindset that all black people are just African. We're not. So-called black people are indigenous to this planet. So you got to get that out of your mind. Most so-called black people were already here in the Americas. The masses of us are here. You cannot explain away the paintings that were already here, and even the skeletons that was found of black people that were already here. You cannot explain that away. The original people who were enslaved were ones here and the ones who were being expelled from Europe. Majority of our people did not come from no West Africa. And I just, it does bother me because I keep saying this over and over again. I got to do the research. The information's there for you to seek it. In this video, I just want to show you a better image of the so-called ball courts, which is not ball courts. They're really big old fields they used to play their games. But also images of ancient gardens that were here. And how, since they have been kept up over hundreds of years, the pyramids that were there, the monuments that were there, they're buried under forest. I'm showing you that, or emphasizing this, that we had great history here. Stop talking about Africa, which it's nothing wrong, fine, but we had great black civilization here. This was our lineage from. We're from here. And I'll repeat this again. Most of us weren't brought over here on a cargo ship to so-called Americas. We were already here. I want to keep homing in on that because there's so many people keep throwing this stuff about we come from West African slaves. That is some mess that some white person has conjured up to dismiss you or to break you away from your true history here in Americas. There's so much, there's a wealth of information of this, but there's so many people who want to deny this because they've been miseducated by white folks or Negroes who were educated by white folks. They go to these goofy ass schools, either PWI, predominantly white institution, or HBCU, historically black institution, historically black colleges and universities, and get indoctrinated with the same lie. Most black Americans, hell, well over 95%, I'm being kind when I just say 95%, I think it's more. Most Aboriginal black Americans' ancestors were already here. You have to understand, they were reclassified. There weren't many so-called West African slaves, they were mixed in, many of them anyway were mixed in with the black Europeans who were being expelled, so he has two different groups. There weren't that many so-called West African slaves that were brought here. This is what angers me because we have so much great monumental structures here in America. I'm going to talk about TLT Huacan. I'm going to talk about Copan. I'm going to talk about all that, man. Because this is our history over here. We need to regain and reclaim our true history over here. There's some brothers and sisters who know what I'm talking about. But there's many, I'm hearing people on YouTube, Dan Calloway is an idiot. And our people come from West Africa. He's been denied. I'm like, shut the hell up, man. Don't listen to people, man. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to them. Majority of our people, we're descendants of the Aboriginal blacks here. And a lot of these individuals are doing this, man. Like I said, they work on some university trying to get tenure, or they don't have a lineage to this land. And I really mean that. We got to stop this. We need to understand who the hell we really are. We are descendants of the Aboriginal blacks here. And our people called themselves by their various different nation names. All right? They called themselves, they identified themselves with their very different nation names. But unfortunately, our downfall, we squabbled and fought amongst each other. Allowing someone from the outside, several people from the outside, to come in along some traitors here to basically steal our identity. And I've mentioned this over and over again. These people who claim to be so-called Indians here, these white and these Asians, these Eurasians, have stolen our identity. I've mentioned this so many times in past videos, man. They've stolen our identity. They have stolen the black Arab identity. Them Turks have stole the black Arab identity. The mixed white Turks, because the original so-called Turks were black themselves, but the mixed white Turks have stolen their identity. They've done this at various different places on the planet, stolen the Aboriginal black population's identity. And our identity, we are the true Indians. We're not no Native American. Make that clear. That's more of a Asian, a non-black Asian. Let me just emphasize that. White, mixture. Or maybe some Negro mixture up in there. But that's what these Native Americans are, man. Alright? And I want to emphasize something too. I listened a little bit of Tariq, and he made the statement that when the Pilgrims came here, they took from the Red Indians. No. Those were black Indians. There's no such thing as no red and black Indians, because the Red Indians are black. Many of our people have a reddish hue, a reddish brown hue. So it's no red Indians and black, because the other Indians you're talking about are pale Siberian people, who are nomadic people, who built nothing. The Aboriginal black people who came in various different shades from blue, black to a yellowish pigment, and then some of our people had a reddish hue. They were all Negroes. So the so-called Red Indians were Negroes. I'll make this clear. The so-called Red Indians were Negroes. Many of our people, like I said, we had a brownish, reddish hue. Like that burning image of the sun. You see that little reddish hue sometime in the sun? Some of our people had that coloring. So we got to stop that, man. I'm making this clear. I'm going to talk, like I said, I'm going to talk about Copan. I'm going to talk about that, man, because this is aggravating me that we continue to allow this foolishness to happen, man. Other people to steal our history and steal our culture. And I want to emphasize that, really emphasize that. But also talk about the ancient gardens that were here in the Americas, all right? Ancient gardens that were here in the Americas. You had our very different structures in these so-called ball courts, where they really weren't ball courts, they were fields, large fields that they played in football-sized fields, which you call gridiron American football-sized fields. So I'm emphasizing that, and I really want you, brothers and sisters, to understand and know that. A lot of stuff has not been kept up. It turns into a big-ass forest. It turns into a big-ass forest. We build monuments and structures all over here in America. You have to understand that. You gotta get this mess that you were just a slave from Africa, man. And here's another I want to say, one of large like fields. Remember, these are not no ball courts, man. All right, these are not no goddamn ball courts. You listen to these goofy ass white scholars, man. They just talk nonsense. These are not no freaky ass ball courts. Like I said, you see how they're being buried under the forest because they used to have ancient gardens all around. Highways, various different structures that was over here. I want you to understand that, all right? So I'm going to basically end this video, but I just want to make a quick video on that and see. Look how this buried now in the forest. That was not always there. Those are ancient gardens that were once here. How it's buried. That's what I want to highlight from last time. Get more detailed on that. See this? See how the trees and shrubs over there? This used to be an ancient garden that surrounded those structures. All right? Used to be an ancient garden that surrounded the structures. So I'm going to finish up right now. Just say I want you to show this. Doesn't this remind you of something? Doesn't this remind you of the now? Posture and sitting of a distinguished individual? Doesn't this remind you of the now? All right, brothers and sisters. That's it. I don't want to do this one now. My voice a little hoarse. Like I said, I'm gonna eventually do one on Coupon, and other stuff in Mesoamerica. I got so much about the black Aboriginal tribes here. Man, I got so much information, man, to make your head spin. But I just want to throw that out real quick. I love you, brothers and sisters. Continue to seek that knowledge. Continue to seek that information. I got that from this book right here, Mesoamerica's Ancient Cities. But there's so much information out here. You need to just do the research. Brothers and sisters are waking up. Do not listen to these Negroes telling you just to go back to Africa, Africa this, Africa that. Man, don't listen to that. I'm saying there's no connection, because there's a connection. But we have to understand that we've been here. Most of our people have been here. We just been reclassified and our identity has been stolen. It's not impossible. It's been done all over the world. But you got to get out your narrow frame of thinking that only way you made it over to this land is someone bring you by boat. You didn't have the intellectual capacity to use maps to sail over here, which you did do that. You sailed over here, and you sailed over to Africa. You sailed over to Asia. There was constantly a pollination between the various different cultures coming together of these very different black people. So I really want you to understand it. That's why, like I said, I have issues with a lot of these individuals who just telling us to go back to Africa, and man, and then you get people telling us America wasn't built for us. What's that dude named Akon? Shut up, dude. Shut up. Shut up, man. So that's all I have to say for now. Peace and love. And continue to do the research. All right.